Hey, it's Tanisha teaching you to create balloon garlands like a pro. Make sure to subscribe.
Hey, it's Tanisha. I'm here with a quick video. Question: what makes a garland a great garland? I'm glad you asked. It's a strong base and some good old supporting balloons. So today I'm going to show you how to make that strong base and then some different techniques on supporting balloons and how you add them together, and that's how you have a strong, professional, beautiful, phenomenal looking garland. You ready? Let's do it. Okay, first is your base. This is where you build it together and you create length. I primarily use 11 to 12 inch balloons. This is your regular size balloons. Now, if I have multiple, as in 10, 18 inch balloons, I'll probably put 5 to 6 of them in the base. However, if I only have 2 to 3 18-inch balloons, I move them to the side and I use them as supporting balloons. So, for example, when you get Amazon kits, a lot of times they're only going to give you 2 or 3 18-inch balloons. So you'll want to move them to the side. However, if you purchase a big bag of 18-inch balloons, then yes, put some of them in the base. It's just going to make it a lot fuller. Because when it's just 12-inch balloons, it starts off a little bit basic, but no worries. Once you add those supporting balloons, that's really what spices up the garland. So I have 3 colors right here. I've moved my 5 inches to the side. I've moved my 18 inches to the side. And right now I'm just working with my 11 to 12-inch balloons so I can create my base. I'll be doing the color blocking method on this backdrop, which means I'm going to keep all of my colors grouped together. So I have rose gold, I have gold, and I don't really know what this color is. However, it's matching the backdrop. So now we're ready to blow up our balloons and create our base.
If you need help on how to properly blow up the balloons and tie them together, watch my step-by-step balloon garland tutorial.
All right, y'all, we got our balloons blown up. Now we're ready to create our base. Once again, we're doing the color block method, so we're keeping all of our colors together. I'm gonna pick up 2 and create a quad. That's when you take 2 and 2, put them together to make 4. Then I'm gonna grab another 2 so that I can put it together with the quad to make a cluster of 6, and then we push it to the side. And I keep doing that, matching all my colors together until I have nothing but clusters. All right, we have our balloons blown up. We have them in clusters of 6, and now we're ready to begin building our balloon garland base. The next supplies we're going to need is curling ribbon or 260s. I have videos where I've used curling ribbon. I have videos where I've used 260s. You can use either or. I would prefer to use white curling ribbon if I have, or clear 260 balloons. When I first start a garland, I always start off with the same 2 color clusters. So let me tie this around my cluster. Let me tie this around my cluster and double knot it. Then I put it on the floor and I'm ready to begin building my garland. I just pick up another cluster, I put it on top anywhere. I bring my curling ribbon up and I pull on it so it's nice and tight. I pull it over one side and then onto another side. This was my previous cluster. I'm looping the curling ribbon under the last and then back over. And I want this curling ribbon to be in the middle where all the necks come and meet together. And then I push down on the balloons while simultaneously pulling up on the curling ribbon to make sure that there are no gaps, no gaps. So now I'm ready to do it again. Adding it on top, pulling it through and meeting it in the middle one way, going the opposite way, hooking it to the previous cluster, pulling it back up, and you see like right here, this would be a gap. However, I'm going to pull it back up here, meet it back in the middle, and pull up, push down. Boom. No gaps. See how there's no big gaps. All right, now I'm moving on to my cream color.
I decided to speed up the garland making process. However, you can always watch my step-by-step balloon garland tutorial. This is my first ever video. It'll give you detailed instructions on how to create that garland with no gaps.
Last two, I'm only using 2 for the gold. If I need to add more, I will.
As you can see, every time I add a cluster, I emphasize that push down pull up method. That's always going to guarantee that there's no gaps.
All right, y'all, we've officially created our balloon garland base. A lot of the times it'll look crazy. You'll think, oh my God, is this right? I promise you, it's all fine. Like I said, your base is mostly 11 to 12 inch balloons, and if you have a plethora of 18-inch balloons, add them in there, but if not, just do 11-inch balloons. Now we have some gaps. It doesn't matter, we try to avoid gaps, but there will always be gaps. So for example, you see how you see the curling ribbon right there? That's a gap. That's why we need our supporting balloons. They do 2 things. They add dimension and fullness, but they also cover gaps. All right, y'all, so we have our base. Now, when you look at this thing, is it looking beautiful? Is it looking special? No, but I promise you, remember the key to a phenomenal garland is 2 parts, the base and the supporting balloons. So we have a strong base, we have our length, we have our color blocking. Now we're going to create our supporting balloons that are going to fill gaps and add dimension. My definition of gaps are where you see curling ribbon or where you see spaces. So for example, I see curling ribbon right here. I see curling ribbon right here. I see curling ribbon right here. Oh, I see curling ribbon right here. So I know for sure that I want to cover those areas as well as this. You can almost see the pole right here. So I need to cover here. And then the rest of the balloons will just add shape and dimension. So now we're going to get our 18-inch balloons and our 5-inch balloons, which I call my supporting balloons. My small balloons and my bigger balloons. Because remember, we created our base with 11-inch balloons. So understand that the key to a really good garland is multiple sized balloons. My 11 and 12 inch make my base, my 5-inch and my 18-inch are my supporting balloons that add dimension and fill gaps. Got it? You'll need your 5-inch balloons, your 18-inch balloons, and if you have 7 to 9-inch balloons, those as well. Basically anything other than your 11 and 12-inch balloons that you use for your base. I personally use my manual pump for 5-inch balloons because I have the 2 pieces on my manual pump I broke off, but you can make them with those 2 smaller pieces. You can make them on your balloon pump. I just broke mine a long time ago, so I be thugging with my regular pump. Excuse me, with my manual pump. All right, let me show you some 5-inch variations. I have 3. I do sets of 3, 4, or 6. Let me show you each one. Once again, I never pump balloons without pushing out a little air. And then I also always double knot. 1, 2, 3. All right, here's 3. Now, if you can see, when I first started, I would try to make them identical, but you see how these kind of two are the same size and this one's a little bit smaller? That's the way it's supposed to be, and that makes it look a little bit more organic-y. And then notice that all the necks, I pull to the back so that in the middle you don't see them. So here's 3. Next variation is 4. All right, so a quad. Notice I have the necks next to the back. I pull them, and then if you could see, there's necks all right here. I pull them all so that they're all together in the back. So here's a variation of 4. And then now I'm gonna do the variation of 6. All right, now we're gonna be making 6 like we did with our big balloons. Boom. I tend to use the 6 when there's big gaps. So like right here, you know, where the gap is a little bit bigger. The 3 just, you know, adds cuteness, fullness, and then the 4 is cool. Next, I'm going to show you one. I call this the flower. So get 3 of one size. So for example, I have some 9-inch balloons. I'm going to blow up 3 9-inch balloons. And so I'm going to make it into a cluster of 3. And then I'm going to do the same with the 5-inch balloons, cluster of 3. So now I have 3, and then I'm going to use the necks, pull them real hard, put it on top of here, and then tie them around. And then boom. Doesn't this look out like a flower? So you see how we have the 3 bigger, and then inside are the 3 smaller. Next variation is when you take 2 balloons. They would be 9-inch, they would be 11-inch, they might even be 2 18-inch balloons. Put them together, and then take a set of 3 5-inch balloons. And then tie them to the 2. And so it looks like this. See how it looks like this? And this is awesome, especially, for example, you see that big gap there? You could do it like this. Not only is it covering the gap, but you see how it kind of adds dimension. It's popping out. The balloons are otherwise flat, and this kind of gives it some dimension. Boom. You could also put it like right here. You could put it, oh look, it looks perfect right there. You know, boom, right there. So moving it to the side. So those are the 5 or 6 variations that I do. And then what I do is I do multiple of those in each color, so that I have a total of about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. I would say maybe 8 to 10 supporting balloons. Now that we made our 5-inch variations, I have all my 18-inch balloons. It looks like I have 2 of each color, so I'm gonna blow these up as well. I do blow these up one at a time because you're not tying them together. Okay, we have our supporting balloons, so now I'm gonna show you what it looks like to install them. There's two different ways, using glue dots, which is the primary way that I do, and then a lot of balloon artists do the 260 way. I do think this is the more popular way. We have our 3 variation in every color. We have a set of 4, we have a set of 6, we have our individual 18-inch balloons, we've got our 2 with the 3, and then where's our flower? And we've got our flower. So once again, different ways will just add dimension. All right, y'all, we're back. If you notice, the rose gold, the garland got flipped. So once again, we're at supporting balloons time. We're gonna be covering gaps. We're gonna be covering where we see string, and we're gonna be covering where we see this bottom piece. So let's do it.
After this install, I will no longer be doing the glue dot way. I'll only be doing the 260 way because glue dots make the balloons fall off faster.
All right, let me show you the 260 way. You're gonna tie a 260 on one end. You're gonna tie another set together on the other end. So then it's gonna look like this. And then, like for example, I see some right here. So I'm going to tie it around. And then boom.
Right here, I just continue to add more balloons with glue dots, but once again, use the 260 method.
So I'm back. Now, I'll be honest, I don't absolutely love this. I like this part, but I don't like this right here. And then I'm not liking this right here. So I'm stopping for the day, and I'm going to come back and show you how I fix this, because that happens. Sometimes you'll add your supporting balloons and you'll say, I don't like this, I don't like that. So I'm gonna show you how I tweak it, but I'm stopping right now for today.
This is the final results. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to show you how I tweaked it. If you can see, I took away some balloons and stuff like that. It came out really good. This was for my mom's 59th birthday.